Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Zoogles, then we get some answers.
Here goes! Not on my watch!
You can't get out of this!
Try harder!
Magic is there!
You're mine!
Freeze Lance!
Dragon form!
Feel it!
Try harder! The flame inside
More
is
for the
yours
shot
to be
pile.
let
Need to
free!
pull myself together.
Dragon form!
Look here! Lightning orb! Take it! One more! Photon spark! Lightning condenser! Thunderbolt!
Ready and ready!
Magic is there! I'm all stuffed up!
Now or never.
Holy land!
In a vine?
A chain between two gets This one's mine!
Eagle assault!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Gun! I'll leave it to you! Take this! Dragon form!
I can handle it.
What's this? Here! A chain between heaven and earth. If we can
Inside is yours! This ends now! Dragon form! Crumble!
Storm! Air strike! And again!
No further! Dragon form!
By the power of water! Watson, the flames will roar!
Take this!
Burning strike!
I'll smash you!
Now! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
A whirling struggle!
I'm on!
Waves of hurricane! Arch
Dragon
field!
form!
Inferno punch!
In here!
Hear
my
call!
call!
It's yours to be let free! Come and get it! Here comes something big!
Right done!
Try harder! Dragon form!
Freeze laser!
My turn!
Raging cascade!
Dragon
Here's a healing
form!
arc! First aid!
You should have messed with me!
A wailing fancy of lightning!
In a vine?
Go!
Dragon form!
Eat this!
This one's mine! A whirling struggle!
Eagle's eye!
Try harder!
Winds of
Not
heaven!
again!
Into the shadows!
Dragon form!
Cyclone! Fire ray! Annihilation!
Ready and ready! Armor won't save you!
Burning strike!
Inspiration! I can do this all
Dragon
day!
form!
Here we go again!
Photon splash!
I'm fascinated here! Get out of this!
A chain between heaven and earth!
Eat
Eagle's
this!
eye!
Freeze laser!
Now I'm in the groove!
I'll heal you all!
Dragon form!
I'll be saving this one! Healing circle! Purge malevolence! Arcade fireball! Here's evil!
Dragon
Chain
form!
between heaven and earth!
Inspiration!
Dragon
I can
form!
do this all day!
Devouring sword!
I owe you
Shine
one.
in your dreams!
Dragon form!
Air thrust!
Far enough!
Winds of heaven!
Almost there!
Oh, close enough. Take it away, Law.
I thought you'd never ask!
Ignite!
Inferno punch! Inspiration!
Dragon
I can do
form!
this all day! Eat this!
Raging cascade!
Watch this!
Enemies immobilized!
Inferno punch!
Ready to go!
Here I come!
Inferno punch!
No escape!
I'm on a roll
Freeze
now!
now! That move!
Dragon form! Here comes the big one! My turn!
Illuminating the light!
Inspiration! I can do this all day!
Dragon form!
Not my finest!
Stay away from my friend! I owe you one.
I'll bring you back
No
from
further!
In
I
here!
owe you one. Dragon form!
This way! Let them go to your handle! I'll never fit!
Dragon form!
Eat this! Lunar corruption! Lunar field!
Denied!
Lunar blast!
Burn it out!
Howling storm!
Dragon form!
There
you are!
This is the way!
Dragon
Healing
form!
circle!
Whirlwind snap! I owe you one.
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact block!
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kalzalik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same...
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her.
It reminds me of Xion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe... Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that? If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Xion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Xion's thorns. I have to be ready to face anything. I'm determined to save Xion. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, You and Volron are the only two subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been two sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the sovereign. And Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now. Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision.
She sure went above and beyond.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her?
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to...
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive.
Now that you know how she felt,
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent... Naori was the one who put that mask on me. It made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
the Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony, the purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening.
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy. In which case, ironically enough, that at least would hold the astral energy dormant. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not. The Renis Alma was lost. And my only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. To buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, please, forgive me. I never meant to burden—
Wait, you can't just— Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through—
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance—
And they appeared now because—
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing that—
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean—
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to—
It makes sense. By that logic, it would stand—
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma. Shion.
It's possible?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from—
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can—
I know it's too early. Just hearing there's the slightest chance. Even though I know—
No,
Grinwell's right. We can rid you of your—
Thank you.
starting with a little game called—
Yeah, we've come all this way.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shion at the same—
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore—
And they say modest—
Miracles just seem to—
How do you know it's me they're following? Now let's get moving, shall we? Thank you. So Naori sealed she stopped my rampage. But then, that power she'd sealed away— I'm so sorry, Shion.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony. You paid a heavy price for it.
The reason you lost—
Is the reason—
The thorns.
It all leads.
When my thorns are... I never dared to know. The truth is, about a life with the touch of my family, holding hands with Rinwell, embracing all the normal things. I always wished I could experience them. Is it really okay? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out?
That's not going to... I'm here to make sure. Forget fate or destiny. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things.
Yeah, it's such a... I know, and it's for...
You're worth.
I believe you.
Good. I'll keep on fighting until our future.
Sounds like this...
Her position demanded nothing less, from the sound of things.
Yeah. It was
Not only that, but she...
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The one...
Which basically meant that she never...
You inherited.
Don't I know?
She's kind of like a lodestar.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It looks...
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place... It reminds me...
Except the Dan and Astral Energy...
In a portion of the city reserved...
Maybe he just has...
This place looks like it has been... Still, this...
Hold up, decadence? Or...
When a preference is indulged to its extreme...
That depends.
The void that art...
In that case... Oh,
Now all we need...
shut up!
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alphen. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Water, hear my call!
Dragon Swarm!
Spread!
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! First strike!
Oh, sparkling
Infernal Punch!
Rain down your spear! Here's evil!
Dragon Swarm!
Freeze laser!
That's enough! Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
I'll be safe!
I could do this all day!
Dragon Swarm! Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
Ready to go! I can do this all day!
Hard up!
Burn in hell! Dragon Swarm! Blow away!
Oh, sparkling stars of my help! Rain down and purify all! Glacial spear!
Can't move!
Evil! Don't give up!
Talon Hurricane!
I'll be raining that one death's abyss!
Eat this!
More where that Where are you going? Illuminate the top!
Take this!
Holy land! Came between heaven and earth! A wailing fancy of lightning!
Eat this!
I can do this all day!
Lightning
Dragon
orb!
Swarm!
Not in your dreams!
Eat this!
Radiant blood! Lightning
Blow away!
Oh, violent!
Dragon Swarm!
Burn! You get I'm going to need to handle the power of my
Dragon Swarm!
hard up!
Eat this!
A whirling blast! Cyclone! By the power of water! Air drop! Mega
Dragon Swarm! Eat this! Talon Hurricane! This one's all mine! You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
Wind astral energy!
Dragon Swarm!
Holy glitter! Holy land! Healing chain between heaven and earth!
Ready and ripped! No fight! Can't end here!
Don't leave me! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Resuscitation!
Not done yet!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth! Holy glitter! Holy land! That'll bring you down!
Inspiration!
A whirling struggle!
Dragon Swarm!
Winds of heaven! First
Dragon Swarm!
Denied!
Come and get it!
Cyclone!
Dragon Swarm!
Air thrust! Here goes! Conjugate!
Prepare to be seen!
I'll smash you!
Dragon
Roll
Flame
now!
inside me! You're to be let free!
Healing Strike Blaster! Dance in the wind! Back air
Dragon
blast!
Form! Ignite!
Photon! Blah blah blah! Air
Dragon
thrust!
Form!
Radiant Punch! Glacial Spear!
Dragon
Here's
Form!
Dust to dust!
In here!
roll
Freeze
now!
Blaster! I'll be saving this one!
Dragon Form!
One more! Mega Lightning Orb!
Dragon Form!
Glacial Spear! In here! Here's the evil!
I have no limits!
Fear throbs in pain.
Try harder! Dragon Form!
Oh, you are gonna pay for that! In a bind?
Pierce! It's on! Dragon Swarm! Burn! Dragon Swarm!
Still got some fight left in me.
I owe you one!
Sword!
Dragon Swarm!
More where that came from!
I can carve through armor!
Radiant Ice Crystal!
I'm on it! Coming in!
Flame of Fury! Burning!
Away!
Glacial
Dragon
Spear!
Swarm!
Here's the evil!
Dragon Swarm!
Between heaven and earth! Freeze Lancer! Hurling Dancy of Lightning! Burn! I'll heal you all! Divine!
Dragon Swarm!
I can't heal you forever!
Fear throbs in pain.
Flame of Fury!
Can't get out of this!
Burning Strike!
Ignite!
Dragon Strike! Confiscated!
Dragon Swarm!
Tear you apart!
Lightning condemned! Thunderbolt!
Dragon Swarm!
Between heaven and earth! Pierce! Ready to come out of Dancy of Lightning!
Try harder! Dragon Swarm!
Air thrust!
Dragon Swarm!
Here's a healing arm!
Is this it?
Will this help? Oh, violent! Carve now through all! Healing circle! Pain between heaven and earth!
Do it! Hikara! I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about...
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they...
Tell me about it. 1 minute
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon.
So what were they then?
is the most terrifying thing anyone said.
How about you, Shion? Doily? You ever seen anything?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the red woman we've seen with Volron...
I had just so much I...
Unfortunately, they...
Both sound plausible.
Yeah, they did.
opponent like this should be easy.
You don't cry not too long ago.
Now, where are you going?
Dragon Force!
You won't bow out nice. You leave me no choice.
Bring him fire support!
Take this!
Dragon Force!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Let me show you what
Dragon
my
Force!
More of that
You're mine! Try harder! My turn! Storm!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! To me! Dragon Force!
Reload! Purity!
Do it!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
A whirling
Now!
trouble!
Dragon Force!
Winds of heaven! First force! Annihilation! Do it! Here goes!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Searing
My
flame!
turn!
I'm on it.
Reload!
Rondo!
Leave the charge to me.
A wailing beam of
Now you
lightning!
see what I can. I'm just getting started.
Dragon Force!
Inferno punch.
Divine savior! Dance in the wind!
You're mine!
Now we'll never.
Winds of heaven! First force!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
Right, here goes! Dragon Force! Not today!
No further.
Burning strike! These ones can run rings around us! Where are you going?
Dragon Force!
Starting wind!
Here I come!
Now or never.
Through all!
Dragon
Shield.
Force!
In a bind.
Now! Reload! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. The flame inside me yearns to be let free. Blazing flame! Dragon form!
Hear my call! A wailing
Damn it! It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
A whirling
Dragon form!
Here's evil! Winds of heaven!
Dragon form!
Will we out? Shattering baby! Need to pull myself together.
Now or never.
I can carve through armor! Dragon form!
Glacial spear! A whirling struggle! Winds of heaven!
Get it! Eat this! You picked the wrong fight! Dragon still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
No further! Head, illuminate the dark! Confiscated! Radiant pierce!
As if the normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Time to let it rip! Take this!
Radiant blood!
You're finished!
Mine! Raging
That'll bring you down.
Dragon form!
Eagle
Dragon form!
Damn it! In here! To the fray!
Take this! Severing wind!
Eagle
Mirage! Dragon form!
All good things come to an end.
Not today!
Now or never. Now you see what I can do. In a bind, I'm on it.
Eat this! Holy Land!
Blazing flame!
Between heaven and earth! A wailing dandy of lightning! Eagle here! I can help more for the side!
Eagle form! I'm on a roll now!
Annihilation! More where that came from! Here!
Tectonic push!
Holy Land!
Ready to go!
Came between heaven
I
and
don't
earth!
even know the word defeat.
A wailing dandy of lightning!
Now or never.
In a bind, Inferno shattering pieces! Burn!
I'll be saving
Solid
this one!
storm! Now you see what I can do!
Dragon form!
I'm on it!
Here goes!
Blazing flame! I'll finish you here and now!
It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! Annihilation! Flaming orb of fury!
Dragon form!
Glacial rust and rend! Lightning can that'll bring you down!
Swallow dead!
Dragon form!
Illuminate the dark!
Dragon form!
Now!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more! We won.
I won't forgive you! Glacial Spear!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Freeze Lancer!
Dragon Swarm!
Do you require a hand?
Now! Radiant Light!
Can't get out of this!
Attack time! Do it! Damage! Flaming
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Dragon Swarm!
Ready to go!
Armor won't save you! Denied!
Mega Ray! Wind Axe!
Dragon Swarm!
Mega Ray! Raging Cascade! By the
Flame inside me yearns! Onward and upward.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about...
She doesn't remember a
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does...
Stop casting me off! Just...
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged.
You're an elite technician.
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riot.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you...
What's that supposed to mean?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind that is, if he ever even existed. Which is looking...
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as your...
There's no time to explain now.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like... oh, I don't know. Musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Tarnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have...
You, a Renan Lord.
I was complicit in the and when I realized the severity... A Lord. And yet
I think the ability to think for yourself and be your own man. Zephyr taught me how to fight.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. Or, to put it in this Zephyr character.
There's just...
How long have you
known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it.
Why ask me now? But... yeah.
So basically since the...
Leave the past where... If my brother could see... Well then.
Kisara? Among other things.
You were thinking about Dohalim.
I was just thinking how... It was always so But now, he's fine.
So...
Oh, I don't... It probably sounds...
Must be that
Rinwell's right.
A pretty big...
All this is... If Dohalim...
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
This looks perfect. Garrett...
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman. And the Renaissance. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can land?
Everyone! Look there!
Flower blooming out of Rena?
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm down! You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more remnants here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
What the... Oh, right. The thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people, does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that. Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come. And I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell!
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation. You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us? That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renin side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renin homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just—
Try to stay calm. What is it?
No, it's just— so much from—
You made it this— You noticed—
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35.
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same—
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the red women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign—
Oh, goody. More—
Do you think we can trust—
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquin. The red women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Date Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, as I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will. A voice? The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our...
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this Great Spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I
Why not?
Maybe not.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do any-
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's greats. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegis are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed, and it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrect 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, It would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dig Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least. That being said...
The spirit of But what?
It doesn't matter.
Right.
There is one other how the Great Spirit...
Now that you mention...
Maybe let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any human.
Are you a Renin?
The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to, but be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrect 35 when he mentioned that
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Renin?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with Hevrect 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegis from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrect 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renins. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renin won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegis is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renins affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renins.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegis? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and—
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how. But if you ask me, if it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the— Anyway, the Helganquil are the real— They're also most—
I see. Thanks for—
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans—
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom—
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channeling?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it—
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral— Second, we had to figure out how to
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans and Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renus Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be...
I could ask you.
I figured
I'll go along with you.
Sounds good.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah. Everything we thought we knew.
Right.
Well, if the names are anything...
But if Hevrecht 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one mass...
No.
Really?
Make one, huh?
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origin?
Indeed. It's shocking.
Even I'm...
Let's not delude our... I can only imagine that you must have...
That's just part of being alive, don't you?
Well, to say the least. But...
When you say the other Renans...
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from putting aside...
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either...
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to... There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of...
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be...
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good. There had been backlash over how it...
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. However, is it?
No.
You're too kind.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again.
You don't even need...
Thank you.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's all I want...
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's... Law. Forget all the big...
Yeah. I'll fight to protect...
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down, and there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah, I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans and the Great Spirit and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, I thought I'd die. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling. It's been going. It wasn't how it fell on us.
I don't think she...
Huh?
When we were... She said that means... Yeah, if we have...
You know?
It's not go... But if we could... I'm there. I think that...
Yeah.
Well, there...
Yes, I...
Well, is everybody...
I am. There's a lot to think. I don't care who we're up against.
What are your thoughts, Alphen?
Like Law said, if we have to... It's trying to rob that alone. But it's not only that.
You're saying there's a...
You're referring to the vision of...
Yeah. 3 seconds to hear Shion tell it?
Indeed. Shion's thorns are... And if Rena's great spirit...
Shion's thorns are...
We don't know anything.
While the main body...
Shion.
If these thorns really are...
The question is, how do we... Suffice it to say, the wedge handle...
And we only know about the...
Heverick 30... It wouldn't ask us to... Our mind.
So if this...
Even with...
First...
More important...
I just...
Worst come...
Wait.
In any...
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the Great Spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience, and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit, and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony, considering that the—
What does that mean for us if you want—
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine then. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alphen?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegus.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Hevrek 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Hevrek 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can...
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. But with the amount of energy we're talking about here...
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrek 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible,
You're probably...
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where
I am.
You're worried about
the fact that our people have...
But you...
Well, even as I dream of retirement...
I'm sure you'll...
Now that I think about it...
I'm no saint, but you changed that, Dohalim. Thanks to... Of course, But we knew that when it comes down...
That is...
Yeah, it is. But as soon as you...
I understand what you... Realistically...
Even if we can build...
So you wish...
Yes, I do. Do you still...
Indeed I do.
You'll always have a... Well, dough.
Did you just... Thank you, Kis. I appreciate...
Don't even mention it. Don't you think that brings down... Yeah.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trusted Rinwell, and that's enough for me.
That's not quite true. I sensed it but
So you're saying there's, in a way...
What?
Well, like you said.
Yeah.
Everett 35 might, but... So thanks,
Rinwell.
To be honest, I feel... No.
No.
Saying? I don't
Come
saying
on,
anything.
Thinking?
No, that's not...
Then spit it...
Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana?
Ages and ages ago.
If I hadn't run into you that day, I wouldn't have my memories back.
Hey, Alphen?
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, like Hevrecht 30, I need you to... You'll use the blazing...
Huh?
It's true the blazing, but it's taken...
You can't be scared
Listen, the Great Spirit, we don't know what's going to happen when we... I promise you, but if it comes down to...
Okay, but you should know that I'm not going to give up on... I hope you can forgive...
Alphen, okay. So it's a...
Yeah.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made it, but when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, I don't have words for the shock.
That's because I couldn't feel pain.
Even once you could, though. But still.
You won't have to worry.
You think so?
I do, because...
No. You...
Everybody get enough rest? We ready for the...
Yeah, we should probably get
Agreed.
Our task is relatively straight.
We're fighting for a new future.
Right. We've come this...
Then let's go, everybody.
Repairs on your starship are...
Is that you, Hevrecht 30?
I can.
Sounds like someone...
Maybe we should give
I have unlocked all...
Warp drive? Wait.
It's possible to...
Using the warp...
Wait.
You'll need to be careful.
So, once we reach...
We gotta go all the way...
Will all the...
The extinction as such. It...
Can't that thing, like...
Well...
You heard the lady. Get...
I have one last what? As Sovereign, you similarly, that despite this, the two of you continue to exist.
We exist because...
You mean it is because... Why have you...
It's hard to... All right, time to get back on the phone lines.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just...
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is...
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world?
And it's covering...
This is what the Great Spirit...
So arresting.
Back in its day, but after being robbed of its...
So the Great
And it found that with nothing...
You're saying if we don't stop...
We can be sure that even these...
If the Oblivion and Dark... It looks like we can climb down. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet...
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you...
Come to think of it...
Oh,
this is essential.
no, because...
Taking an interest.
Looks like we're not...
You think... So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renaissance Alma using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling.
I already had... The problem is...
In other words...
Back when
If that's...
We might just be able... It won't be... Question...
What'll the...
Yeah,
A lot will happen.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting...
That's true.
Renans, Danans...
If only we could see different... Not...
It will take...
There'll no...
That's where we... Imagine...
Yeah, you're...
I wonder what Helgang...
I can imagine that'd be...
There's no question...
I get that.
Put a pin in it.
I can think...
It's a loop.
A man...
Oh,
In your...
You'll need to...
Why do...
Just a friendly suggestion.
Is this about dinner last night?
What?
Rinwell.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, makes...
You don't think it...
Can't say...
Connected...
Okay, let me get this...
Huh.
It would mean...
Not...
Get him, Poodle. Oh, no...
You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out...
You can say that.
Isn't it weird?
Certainly in all of...
they only... There's all...
What do you mean?
Zoogle...
You're right.
First...
I hope...
It's a nice...
Aside from the...
If we had...
Well...
Hey, she's pretty cute.
Who are you looking at? Quit gawking and let's go.
Ow!
Do you sense one of your friends, Noodle?
That treasure. What a sweet... sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
I never realized before.
You're only just noticing?
That's the one.
And all with the mask concealing your face.
Back then, it never...
You mean...
Oh, I know.
Water alone.
In that case...
And then...
Bit of an...
Maybe it's...
I know it.
You don't have...
Are you...